So, you've done all the groundwork. You've pinpointed the risks, you've set your objectives, and you've drafted what feels like a bulletproof audit plan. But hold on, there's one final crucial step before you can actually roll up your sleeves and start the work. And trust me, it's a big one. Today we're diving into how you communicate your plan and get that all-important approval.
Welcome to the Audit Guidebook. This is the place where we break down complex audit concepts into skills you can actually use. Whether you're studying for exams, you're brand new to the field, or you're a seasoned pro just looking for a quick refresh, you're in the right place. All right, let's get to it.
So let's cut right to the chase. After all that careful planning, how do you actually get the official green light to start your fieldwork? It's not as simple as just saying, hey, we're ready to start. It's a strategic process, and honestly, mastering it is what really separates the good auditors from the great ones.
Before you even think about asking for approval, you've got to have an unshakable foundation. And that foundation is built on two pillars: crystal clear objectives and a well-defined scope. Let's break down what that really means. Okay, first up, your audit objectives. This is your what. What are you really trying to accomplish with this audit? And these can't be just vague ideas. They have to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. A strong objective is basically the North Star for your entire engagement, and it should always tie directly back to the key risks and policies of the business.
So if the objectives are the what, the audit scope is the where and the when. This is where you draw the lines in the sand. A really solid scope is your #1 defense against scope creep. That thing where an audit of one department suddenly starts bleeding into 3 others. This keeps you and everyone else laser-focused.
And getting this right isn't just guesswork. It's a structured process. You start by digging into the organization's goals and risks. Then, and this is critical, you talk with management to make sure you're on the same page. You've got to check your resources. Do you have the right people for this job? Only then do you write it all down. This isn't just about paperwork. It's about building a shared understanding from the very beginning.
All right, so your what and your where are locked in. Awesome. Now it's time to build the actual roadmap for the audit journey. This is where your detailed audit plan and methodology come into play. Now, this highlights a really simple but incredibly important difference. Your audit plan, that's the roadmap. It tells you what you're going to do. The methodology, that's your toolbox. It tells you how you're going to do it, the specific techniques like interviews or data analysis. One is the strategy, the other is the tactics. A solid audit plan is literally the blueprint for the whole engagement. It's got your objectives and scope, of course, but it also includes the criteria you're auditing against, like specific regulations or internal policies. It maps out a clear timeline, assigns responsibilities to your team, summarizes your risk assessment, and, super importantly, it even outlines how you're going to communicate along the way. It's the one document everyone can turn to.
Okay, so you've built this rock-solid foundation. You've got your objectives, your scope, your plan, your methodology, it's all there. Now comes that moment of truth, communicating everything effectively to get the buy-in and the formal approval you need to actually start.
When you're presenting your plan, transparency is the name of the game. You've got to put yourself in their shoes. Management needs to clearly understand why you're doing this audit and how you plan to do it. But it's also about setting expectations. Be really clear about what you'll need from them, whether it's their team's time or access to specific systems. The goal here is simple: no surprises. Not for you and not for them.
So how do you have these conversations? Well, there are a few standard channels. You'll definitely have a planning meeting for a live discussion where they can ask questions. You'll back that up with a formal written document like an audit planning memo or an engagement letter. And if you're in internal audit, you'll likely present the whole plan to the audit committee for their final sign-off.
So communication sets the stage, but now it's time for the final act, getting that formal go-ahead. Let's walk through the exact steps that take you from a draft plan to an officially sanctioned audit engagement.
And listen, here's the most important thing to remember. This is a conversation, not a presentation. You prepare your draft, you discuss it, and, this part is key, you actually listen to their feedback and address their concerns. This isn't about forcing your plan on them, it's about building consensus. Once everyone's on board, then you submit the final plan to get that documented official approval.
We've just walked through a lot of steps, but let's take a step back and ask, why? Why is all of this so important? What's the real value in being this structured?
This quote from our source material really just nails it.
This whole process isn't about bureaucracy or checking a box. It's about getting genuine buy-in from management. It's about making sure everyone's expectations are aligned from day one. And it's about getting the official authorization you need to do your job properly.
And when you do this right, the payoff is huge. You stop being seen as just the auditor who's there to find problems. You become a trusted partner. This whole process builds cooperation, it prevents those painful conflicts later on, and it seriously boosts the credibility of the entire audit function. It makes everyone's job easier.
So if there's one thing to take away, it's this. A well-planned communication and approval process isn't just the last step of planning. It is the absolute cornerstone of a successful audit. It sets the tone for a collaborative and much more impactful engagement. Thank you so much for watching this explainer from the Audit Guidebook. We really hope this gives you a clear and confident path to navigate the super important part of any audit.
And hey, remember, this is just one piece of the bigger planning puzzle. To really get a handle on the entire process, make sure you check out the other explainers in our Module 1. They all connect and build on each other to give you a complete picture.
So, are you ready to keep sharpening those professional skills?
If this was helpful for you, please do us a huge favor and hit that like button, and definitely subscribe to the Audit Guidebook channel. We're trying to build a real community here for audit pros who want to stay at the top of their game, and we would love for you to be a part of it. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next explainer.